Hi there, it's Emma from Emma's Cards and Paper Crafts. Today I thought we'd have a little play with the Thankful Garden suite. I've also got a few extras in my pile that I'm planning on using. I've got the Sweet Blooms stamp set out and also the Stylish Shapes dies, the Pressed Flowers embossing folder, and then I have kind of pre-prepped all of my pieces here. So this is the second to largest circle from the Stylish Shapes, and I've cut all my card and DSP pieces here. So today's project is inspired by a video I seen on Facebook by Stamptastic Designs, and really I've cased her video. So I've cut all my pieces ready. They may or may not be the same measurements as what she's used, but we're just going to go with the flow. I need to cut out 2 of these circles from this piece of card, and also this skinny piece is what I'm going to be embossing. So I'm just going to run those through my machine and I'll be back with you in a second. There we go, so I've die cut the 2 circles just there, and then here is my embossed piece. It did move slightly as I embossed it, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put all of the bits out the way that I don't need anymore. I'm going to put my die back in its case, so I don't get anything lost. So now we have all of our pieces. Just pop those off to one side. I've got my Melon Mambo ink and Tuxedo Black ink out. These are the sparkles that go with this suite, so they're the Starburst sequins, and we're just going to use this floral paper here today, and also the reverse side of this yellow flowers one, which is just leaves. Pop that to one side. So I've got all my pieces cut here. We're going to need a standard size card. So when it was cut, it would have been 21 by 14.5, and you score down the centre at 10.5. Because we're doing a fun fold card, we're also going to score down the front half of the card at 5.25. So we've got a Z fold card like so. This is a Z fold card with a twist. The twist being that we've also got our lovely DSP here, which is going to create an inside flap to the card like so, and this is going to be like so. And then we've got I need to trim this down a little bit smaller. I must have miscut that one, so I need to take a slither off the edge there. I probably cut it to 5.25 rather than it doing 4.75. And then we've got our embossed piece. Again, I've done it 5.25 and I should have done it 4.75. So we're going to trim that bit down to go on the inside too, just to give it a little bit of texture. We've got our inside piece here, which is 9.5 by 13.5, and this will just give us our writing space inside the card like so. We can do a little bit of stamping on this, a little bit of stamping on our circles, and yeah, so let's get to assembling. Let's first trim down these 2 pieces that I made a little bit too wide. I'm also going to trim the very, very bottom off of this here, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit smaller than what I had it before. So there we go. So let's measure this up against our cardstock. So the height, we're going to go, I think we need to take at least 0.5 centimetre off the side of that, I think it is. Yeah, it's about 0.5 centimetre we need to take off to make it even all the way around. So that bit's going to come off, and then could probably even take off another 1/4 centimetre. So we're going to do that too. pieces in the bin. That looks a much better fit there. So that's that one correct. Now we need to cut this one down to 4 3/4 rather than 5 1/4 wide, like I did do. There we go. So don't need that little sliver. Right, so now we have the correct size pieces. And actually I forgot to tell you, this piece here, the flap, was 10 wide and 28 long, and then scored at 14. So each layer has gone 1/2 centimetre smaller. So let's get these stuck down. So which side do we like best? I like this one best at the top. So this is going to be our back, so we're going to put adhesive on our back here, and then line this up on the inside of our card. Not quite perfect, but perfect enough. We're going to stamp on this bit here, so I'm not going to attach it just yet because I don't want it to be uneven and not stamp evenly. So we'll stamp and then stick. Our embossed piece is going to go in the centre here, like so, and then our leafy piece is going to go on the front here. I haven't completely decided on the design, I just cut out the basics, so we are going to very much make the rest up from here on out and see where we go. So there's that bit there. So this design series paper is all very big floral designs. There wasn't really a small print apart from the yellow, and I didn't feel like the yellow went as well with it. So we have this one here, didn't think that one really worked. We've got the green leaves, didn't think that one really worked. Again, another big floral. And then the green with yellow flowers, and I just didn't think they worked with the Melon Mambo. So that's why we've gone with the black and white design. So the B sides of these are most of them are black and white designs. We have got the Fresh Freesia ditzy print sort of thing there, and then we've got black and white spots, and we've got the green and the ones that we've used. I'm flinging stamp blocks everywhere now, so that's why I've gone with the black and white. We're going to stamp on here now. Also really want to stamp this on our inside as well here. So let's get our hydrangea out. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, so I guess I was looking at the front of the case, and obviously they're only done at a 75% scale, so it's a quarter smaller than it normally would be. But we are going to go with this one. Let's find a big stamp block. I think this one's the only one I've got big enough. We're not going to use the whole of the stamp. I just want sort of like a little bit of it peeking in from the side. We are going to stamp this in Melon Mambo because I just want the little pop of colour, which is really what we're doing it for anyway. So I'm only going to put ink on sort of like the part of the stamp I know I want to use, a tiny bit overlapping. So I'm going to go right back there. There we go. Just so we've got a peekaboo bit of our hydrangea coming in. And then we need to sort sentiments. I did want to use You Make Me Smile, but I think that one's going to be too big for my circle. Yep, just too big. Okay, we're gonna have to pivot on sentiments. What about if we use, yep, thankful for you, friend. So we'll go with that one because that was the other one that I was thinking of using. Well, we have, what's the other one on here? Oh, with love. No, we go for this one, I think. There's that one. Put that stamp set over to one side. So we're going to go with that sentiment inside, but on a circle, like so. And then no, one circle goes here and hides behind there, like so. So we can have one sentiment on here, which will be that one, and then this one we're going to decorate with, I'm going to possibly fussy cut a flower to go on that one, and then we can go with our You Make Me Smile sentiment for the inside of the card. So I'm still using the two sentiments. I was thinking of using just the opposite way round. So let's mount this one on a block as well. A slightly bigger block, so this fit. Yep, that one will fit just like that. So we're going to stamp the sentiments in black. So yeah, You Make Me Smile is going on the inside. Like so. And then Thankful for You, friend. Going on my circle, and on a circle you can never not do it straight because you can just rotate your circle to make it straight. So there we go, that's those two sentiments stamped. Stamps are out the way. Now we need to stick down our inside. Ink out the way, let's put the lid back on the ink. Great idea. We're going to open our flap and stick in our inner to be able to write on. So there's that bit. And then we need to decide on the flower we're going to fussy cut. I want to use a whole flower. I feel like this one here, it's not huge like some of the others, but it's still quite big. That's our flower we're going to use. That paper can go back in the pack. That can go back in my stack. I'm not going to fussy cut this right up to the edge. I'm going to leave a tiny little white border around it. The best trick when fussy cutting is always move the paper rather than the scissors. The only time I move the scissors is if I'm going in a straight line. The rest of the time I'm moving the paper around. instead. And don't be afraid to just cut away pieces as you go, so you're not dealing with great big flappy long pieces. So this bit here, I think I'm just going to take off that sharpish corner, but I think that was really narrow enough already there. So I don't really want to take off much of that bit, so I'd already cut it quite close enough when I removed it from the big sheet. Sometimes I'd go in that piece there and just cut out a little bit more, but not on camera, because know me, I'd go wrong and I'd chop off something I didn't want to chop off. It's just the laws of doing things on camera. This is when I could do with having a friend with a scan and cut that lives nearby, that I could just be like, can you just cut this sheet out for me? But unfortunately all of my friends that have scan and cuts live miles away. Maybe it's a sign that I should buy one. But I probably have way too many card making gadgets already. Don't have space for one. And I feel like I've only just got some space back after having a really good sort out a couple of weeks ago. So I don't want to go filling my space back up again with more gadgets that realistically I'd probably use once in a blue moon. Wouldn't use it on a daily basis. So another reason for going with this flower as well as it's because it's got the Melon Mambo in it, and I'm really on a pink stage at the moment. I've got pink nails, as you can see, and I've also had pink hair for quite a while now, so very much pink at the moment for me. So there we go, that's our flower. So let's make sure we get that out of the way. So that's going to go like so. We're going to have this on here, like that. So let's get a bit of glue on the back of that. There we go. We want this one central, so we're only going to glue down this half. Just make sure. So between the stem and sort of there. So just glue on this side here. Like so. Good, we didn't get anywhere we didn't want it. And then we are going to put some glue on the back of this one too. Lots of it. And then we're going to pair it up to the back of this one and then push down the card like so. So that when it's closed, that is right behind it. And then we get to add our sparkles. So because we're going more for the pink theme, I don't think the fresh freesia is going to go all that well. So we're just going to go with the spot of the white ones and the yellow ones. So you've got two sizes. I'm going to go for the magic number of 3. Just like so. Then we close it up on the outside as well. I can use a big one on the outside though. There we go. So those are the Starburst sequins. And there is our finished card. So it is a Z fold card, but with a twist. So again, that design was cased from Stamptastic Designs on Facebook. She did use a similar floral paper, but not the exact same one. I've got a funny feeling she may have used either the Floral Impressions or the Florals in Bloom. I think it was either of those, but still, I just loved the little twist on the Z fold card. I like making Z fold cards anyway, but just having a little twist of they flap as well. Just gives you a little bit more space to write, because otherwise you're kind of confined to just writing in this little section. So I love how it's got the flap, and also you can write on the back as well if you wanted to. But there we have it. So that is my card for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.